And we are live. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're in the FA Cup final, Alex. It's insane. I'm all over the place at the moment, but just after that result, how are you feeling? What are you doing? Because we're through to the FA Cup final. Come on, lads. Let's get in there. How are you feeling, Alex?
I don't think it's really hit me yet. Like, it's one of those things where you can always imagine it, but you really haven't really processed it. Like 1969. Like, I wasn't even a thought. My parents were children. Like,
fine, yeah, we didn't come into this club to support this, and they've done it. I mean, the man of the moment, Kelechi Iheanacho, I was thinking, okay, here's his run. He comes and does it again, and not just does that, he does 2 or 3 other things that send us through. It's just unbelievable at the moment. So whatever you're thinking, let us know in the comments down below. Let us get it. We'll get your comments up. I'm feeling absolutely buzzing at the moment, Alex. But Kelechi Iheanacho, we just have to start with him because everything was good going forward. There was a couple of other bits, but he was one of the main reasons why that was so awesome.
Oh, hands down, and I think, as ironic as it sounds, if you said a year ago, Nacho would be the one that you'd be heavily relying on, everyone would say, that's not happening. And the fact that, every game we're expecting, a goal from Nacho has just it's been so much fun to watch. And, just his patience and, getting the goal and, that second chance was just perfect. And, what an experience. This is I'm still buzzing. I don't even know how to feel right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's just unbelievable at the moment. I mean, we've seen them fail before. We've seen them, but the fact is, okay, today we didn't play the best. We didn't have the best opportunities. But the fact is, it's what we've needed. We've needed a win out of somewhere. The whole situation before the West Ham game, the whole situation before, I think Alex's froze, with the Man City game, and people think we're going to fall off. It was all about turning up today and turning up in the right way. Alex, if you can hear me or whatever, just drop in and drop back out, and I'll drop you out for a second there. But yeah, make sure you leave your comments down below because it looks like I'm doing a solo one for a bit until Alex joins back in. But until then, what are your thoughts again? And Iheanacho was absolutely brilliant today. A lot of the time when he was playing, I was just going, wow, just sensational. Some of the plays he was playing, that when he was going for that shot of second goal, I was like, okay, here we are. And Alex has come back again. His internet is a bit funny at the moment. So if he's there, he can hear us. Kelechi Iheanacho today, Alex, just sensational.
Yeah. And you know what? These are the moments that you live for, and having him get in this kind of a moment is unbelievable.
Exactly. And we have got Austin as well. So what else? Again, into next round for the women, and then in the final for the men. It's just been an insane week, to be honest, and overall just sensational overall for Leicester City. I mean, we didn't play the best today, but we didn't need to. All I was saying, Alex, is just get the result. Doesn't matter how we do it. We didn't play the best at times, but who cares? It sounds like they weren't great, but who cares? We did it. We're there, and that's all that matters. And sometimes we've bashed the teams when we need to bash them. However, again, we're dropping back out and dropping back in, 2 of them at the same time. I don't know what's happening, mate, but I'm just running with it, and I'm just taking it. But at the moment, it's just sensational. At the moment, I'm just absolutely buzzing. And again, we didn't play the best, but it doesn't matter. We've won.
Yeah. And, at the end of the day, we're going to the finals. And that's all that you really need to think about. We're going to the FA Cup finals. This is just fantastic. And I am very much looking forward to us facing off against Chelsea. It's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, and we're quite glad we got Chelsea over Man City, because again, I feel like Man City are kind of a team. Well, Chelsea are kind of a team. We'll get there. But overall, 90 minutes. People will be looking at Jamie Vardy and going, he didn't score today. But in my opinion, who cares? We won. B, he's doing so much work off the ball. And people are going, oh, he's getting older now. His work rate does not stop, and he just keeps plowing on and keeps going and going and going. And it's sensational to see.
Yeah, and you know what? Without Vardy and the way that he played down the wing on the stretch, for that goal. On Nacho's goal, we couldn't possibly not be talking about this right now. He really brought a ton of players, to go defend against him, which left Nacho wide open, and you get that opportunity to score. And, with Vardy not on the pitch, we could be talking about something completely different.
Yes, I totally agree. And again, just shout out to Zach as well. So I think he's part of the NA Foxes as well. So big again, Cloud9. I just want to go through a couple of feelings. Again, let's go. We're in the Cups. Fantastic at the moment. And then Glenn, if you're listening, mate, I've sent you the link. You can join in wherever you want. Again, we love Glenn's perspective on this program as well. Sat here in teas I did in 1982. Imagine 1982, now it's 2021 and it's 40 years and we've reached a cup final. This is insane. And again, there's a time to bash the team, but now we just need to be excited. And we just need to be all behind this team and just go, right, we're through to the final. That's going to be after the season's finished. Now we just get on with the Premier League and get on with it and cheer them on, regardless of what's happening. We get behind the team and we smash it now. And that's the mentality I'm going from here on out.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. At the end of the day, we've dealt with things this season that, have been difficult, not only as a club and as as the players, but also as a fan base. But right now we need to support this club through through the thick of it. We are going to the finals. We've established that that's going to happen. Now we need to focus in on the Premier League and we need to finish off in that top 4.
Yeah, and this is the problem with going, not a problem with going live. I'm just all over the place. I'm so excited. I'm so buzzing. And I'm just like, again, because I can't believe we're in the final. And you were saying, Alex, before, you were so nervous for this game. And I understood, but I was like, I'm just excited. I'm just excited. And now it's all justified, surely.
Yeah, and, it was funny because at the start when I woke up this morning, I was like, oh, yeah, we played today. And then as the day got, as it got closer and closer, it was like, we played today. And then I was like, oh, it's the semifinals. And then it was like, oh, now I'm nervous. And about an hour before the game, I was all over the place. And even at the start of the game, I was nervous. And then at halftime, I was even more nervous. And then Nacho scored. And then my first thought was, oh, I'm not nervous anymore. And then the thoughts kept coming in. And I don't think I've ever been so nervous in my life. That was just absolutely nerve-wracking, knowing that we were up 1-0 and being like, okay, now we got to hold this lead. And we got to hold it. And Southampton, I got to give it to Southampton because Southampton did a fantastic job on the attack once we scored.
Yes, I'm not sure. I think they did okay. Defensively, especially in that first half, they were just taking out players left, right, and central, and it was absolutely fantastic. And look who we have, special guest. Glenn's here. I know, Glenn, you've just tweeted out, you've put on this channel as well, but just give us your initial thoughts, mate. I know I just sent you the link late, and apologies, but again, you've got such a unique perspective as well. We just love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I was just sat here and I was watching this obviously, and I saw my bit come up. You said, "Oh, I sent you the link." I'm like, "Okay, hang on, let's quick get on." So I've not heard what you spoke about for the last couple of minutes, but I think it's just nerves and that release now. It was right from the beginning. It wasn't really the best of games. I don't think anybody would say so. But and I found it difficult at the end to try and look at even picking a man of the match. I mean, there was a few little things that, I said, Iniacho obviously for the goal, maybe Evans for shoring it up at the back a little bit, Vardy for his runs and that, and so unfortunate with his couple of attempts that he had as well. But I think just massive release, and it's just from the relief. Sorry, and it's just amazing. Like I said, 1982, I was there at the whole end and crying my eyes out as a 12-year-old, just picking up the coins that the Spurs fans were throwing at us and things like that. And now we're at this. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely sensational, and that's what we have to kind of. We could analyze the match. We could see. I had some notes from it, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't care. This is not the time to analyze the match. We're through to a final. Alex has frozen, so I'm going to drop him out, and hopefully he'll drop back in a second. But his internet's not the best at the moment, so he might join in a second. However, just sensational, and the way we went about it. It wasn't the best performance, but we, as I was just saying before, we don't care, Glenn. Just give us the final. Give us the final, and we're there. And regardless of what Rodgers does this season, this is a success. Regardless, we've reached a final. We've seen so many times in the EFL, we've reached the quarterfinals, the semi-finals. But to go to the finals, that's another step up for the club, and just a credit to the team and everybody associated with it.
Yeah, and I think without a doubt now, this is going to be a stepping stone for the rest of the season for us. I was a little bit worried beforehand about the fact that if we didn't get through this, as to what might happen then for the rest of the season. But I really think we'll springboard this, and then we'll carry on. I mean, can you imagine now? I mean, forget about what's happened over the last week or so with everything, and now everybody can look forward to the next few games, take the points through for the next few games as well, and then take us through to the rest of the season. And I think we'll nail on. And I know I'm on the high from this game, but I think we'll nail on top four now, and then. Yeah, just I haven't even looked at exactly what date it is for the cup final. I didn't want to jinx anything. I am one of those ones that tends to do that sort of stuff. But so now, yeah, I'm going to be looking forward to when that's going to be, and I'm assuming it'll be a Saturday rather than a Sunday, so I won't have to worry about time off work. But oh my god, unbelievable!
Just exactly. Some people have put in, so proud of the team. We told you, Ethan. We told you. A couple of weeks ago, we not screaming top four, whatever. This has come back to bite you a little bit. We trust in the team. We trust in the manager. All this kind of stuff. We just play to the best of our ability. And again, this is the things that makes us fall in love with football. This is the romance that for years and years we got overlooked and we didn't get that position. And now we have the position. Just take note of it and just enjoy every single second of it, Alex.
Yeah, just soak it in, embrace it, enjoy it. And, this is what the game is all about, just loving every single second of it. And what a time. What a time to be a Leicester City fan.
Exactly. And I kind of lost for words overall, but I want to go over to you, Glenn, with Nacho. I mean, the man, if you take it back, again, I don't want to take it too far back. You take it back to the Crystal Palace game where he missed the penalty and we got a 1-1 draw and we switched out basically the entire 10 of the entire starting 10, missed the penalty. How far he's come since then, and he's going to get the plaudits he deserves now. But credit to him. I mean, there's one person I want to speak about, and his work off the ball, his cutting in, his positions. He went down in the 83rd minute, and I nearly cried. To be honest, I was like, "Oh no, not again! Another player getting injured." But just again, what are your thoughts on Kelechi Iheanacho at the moment?
Yeah, I think from going back previously, he's such a confidence player, as everybody's talked about so much, and then today there was a few times where he would make mistakes around the midfield area and lose the ball and such like. And I think the old Iheanacho then would have just dropped, and the head would have dropped, and it would have completely different person. But then he sticks at it, and look what happens. I mean, holy cow, for the goal, the first shot was going wide. Came off the defender and back to him. And he's like, "Yeah, cheers, easy. I'll have a second stab at that," and away it goes. I think it's just that new Iheanacho now with that confidence that he just everything he touches at the minute. That's just our thing. Is that all it takes is that one moment. And that one little chance that he might get, and then and he's able to stick it in, and it's fantastic. How people are looking at Vardy, and I mean, we've been really looking at the fact that what Vardy does with the ball and without the ball as well is still helping no end. Yes, I know he's going on the goal drought and all of that, but if it wasn't for Vardy today, then we wouldn't have had that goal either. So the pair of them up front together is still just working fantastic. So long may that continue. Until May the 15th, because I've just looked it up.
Yes, I was going to say, I was just going to bring that up, but since you've said it, let me see if I can find the picture that the club have put out. But yes, it is May the 15th, which is one that, again, it's going to be hard to get tickets anyway. Let's see if I can find it here. Yes, here it is. So that's again, 15 at the moment. It's 15th of May. Just phenomenal, and again, just sensational work from Leicester City and what we are doing at the moment. Alex, another player that needs to be mentioned. Wesley Fofana and Soyuncu did have a little bit off games at times. Johnny Evans showed his experience, rode it out. He's not won the FA Cup, but his performance, his elite level, people really underestimate him, in my opinion. But what a performance he had today, and just the way he just maneuvered everything in the back.
Evans is the general on the back of the Leicester City squad. The way that he dictates play and the way that he controls every other defender that he deals with, you could see him how he establishes Fofana and Soyuncu in the ways that he wants, and nothing got past them. And, when you have a veteran presence like Evans back there, I don't, you're dealing with a back line that is just one of the most dangerous in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he's just sensational at the moment. One thing I want to bring it onto as well: the midfield duo of Ndidi and Tielemans didn't do anything. They did at the times, cleaned up beautifully. Didn't go out and play their socks off. They didn't need to, but they did what they needed to do, Glenn, and they just soaked up all the pressure. Gave it where they need to. Tielemans was bursting forward in that first half with a few good runs. Ndidi was just going, let me take care of this. And it was like, it was just so beautiful to watch his performance for both of them in general today.
Yeah, neither of them really did anything wrong. Like I say, there was nothing that really sparked for, stuck out really for anybody. But yeah, they did their job. I mean, Yuri had some good few through balls. They had that one that went through for that one that went through for Vardy for his chance was an excellent through ball, and then Ndidi does what he does by getting his boot and his body in there and on the line and trying to mop things up as well. And then even when with Maddison coming in as well into that number 10 role later on, he added that little bit of a spark. I think he did sort of like up it a little bit there as well. There was a few things a little bit out of sorts. I think I tweeted out at the time with there was a free kick attempt that I put. Did Robert Huth all of us, or did Maddison all of a sudden turn into Robert Huth for his free kick attempts? But no, he added a bit of spark later on as well. So yeah, it was. Like I say, it wasn't the best of games, but I mean, we did what needed to be done. To be honest, Southampton didn't really come at us. I expected them to come at us a little bit more, but they sat off us a lot. There wasn't really any press until later on, when by then, we'd already scored and it was really a bit too late. Had they come at us a little bit more, it might have been a bit different, but I think that made it a little bit easier for us. But especially with, I think, how nervy we all were as well. But yeah. At the end of the day, I think, as people in the comments are probably saying as well, who cares?
It doesn't like that. That's the point of this. I'm not trying to harp on too many of the players that had off days, because there were a few players that didn't have the best performances today, and that's okay because we won and we've played much better than that, and we've been knocked out. And that's my point of, there's a time to talk about the negatives, and that's when we lost. When we win an FA Cup final at Wembley in front of 4,000 fans that mostly did support Leicester City, you couldn't. It's really weird. They're sitting there with the masks on, kind of crossed arms. I know it was a bit cold today, probably in England, but there wasn't a lot of It wasn't the same. But I was like, I'm glad fans are back a little bit, Alex. But I tweeted out before the match. I was like, I heard them go the roar after Prince Philip. I was like, wow, I've not heard that in ages. Then I realised half of that was artificial, and then everybody went back to be quiet again. But yeah, just your thoughts on what I've just said, because again, I'm a bit all over the place. But who cares? We've won, and yeah. What are your thoughts?
Was it the prettiest game? No. Do I care? Not really. Why? Because we've punched our ticket to the finals, and that's all really that matters. And I think one of the craziest things for me was, especially for being a fan in overseas, is, I've been watching games, on the TV this entire year, and that's the thing that I normally do because I'm, over here in Canada. But just seeing a few fans, just a few, that was just a feeling that I haven't felt in a very long time. And it was really nice. And, there weren't a lot of Leicester City fans, there were a few, but it was great to see just a few fans in the crowd and knowing that things are coming back to a relative normalcy, maybe over in the UK. I don't know about Canada right now, but, it was a great sight to see. And, I think I'm exactly with you, Neil. I don't really know how to articulate, how to put all my feelings into words right now, because, I think I'm on cloud 9, but I still haven't really, gotten all those feelings into one go and being like, this is how I truly feel.
Fellow North American. Sorry to interrupt.
So you know what? Like, I'm buzzing. Like, I'm absolutely buzzing. But at the same time, I know in about, give me a couple hours, I'm going to be sitting down and being like, we're going to the finals.
Yeah.
And that's when it's really going to hit. And that's when I'm going to just lose it. But as I said right now, I'm still buzzing. I'm so ecstatic.
Exactly, and that's what we've got to do. Again, just some brilliant. I want to get back to your comments. Love you all. Yep, Leicester, and we love you too. I don't know if you talk to us or Leicester City, but either way, there's love coming your way, especially today. Again, cup final, shake for the nerves. I think that's what Alex was talking about. I'm still kind of shaking at the moment because of just what's happening and just the situation at the moment. And again, people just with their comments. Ethan, but so proud of the team. Exactly. And there's just some. Again, we're coming for Chelsea, and we've got a shot. We've got a shot. And what we lack in financial budget, what we make up for in just team effort and spirit, and we've got to be up for that and just roll on the final, which again is on the 15th. But we've got to look forward to that, Glenn, because that's going to be sensational.
Yeah, and it's going to be another one. I'm going to be sat here as well, a bag of nerves for the whole day, and probably even the day before as well. I think whereas yesterday with the other semi-final, I think that built the nerves up for me just as even more. And then I think the fact that it was Chelsea's, I think most Leicester fans would probably prefer Chelsea. I know it doesn't. It's a one-off game and it's the final and all that sort of thing. But that really built it up for me yesterday. Knocked my nerves into overdrive then for today, and and then it's just now I'm at that, like you say, that shaky sort of part of it now. But and I'll be exactly the same. I know I will on May 15th. It sounds as if there's going to be, from what I've heard, around 21,000 there. Yeah. How many of those are going to be Leicester fans? It's not like the.
Oh yeah.
It's not like the League Cup where it's not quite, but virtually a 50-50 split. There's going to be an element of corporate.
And Chelsea are a bigger team, and B, they're in London as well. So it's going to make things a little bit more sticky on our point. However, we just got to go and do our thing of Glenn. Hey.
But there'll be noise. That's the thing.
Oh,
there'll be the fact that the fans are back there. It's one of the things you see, the build up, the videos of older games and that, and it's one of the things I just so miss, just seeing people at the games. I know I'm not there now, but since I've been moved across here, but just seeing the fans, and they make such a difference. And I was almost praying today that any of the people that were there were going to start slagging Vardy off, so it might perk him up a little bit, but wasn't to be. But he did his bit anyway, so looking forward to.
We'll make sure to send some if we can.
Yeah, exactly.
Even Leicester fans go and slag him off, and then just to get again, as Ethan says, get his confidence back before the final. It's a weird one. On paper, his confidence isn't there, but because of his age, because of his experience, Alex, he's working for the team, and he could have had a few more opportunities today. He had his what will be shown is his one-on-one chance, and yes, he missed it, but it didn't. But as great players do, they don't just give up and go throw in the towel. That's it. Game's over. Right. I'm going to go on the wing. And the amount of times he was leaving Bednarek for dead and getting balls in and crossing in and making runs and making opportunities, taking fouls, just sensational. And yes, his goal scoring run isn't there, but his impact on the team is second to none.
Yeah, and you know what? Like I believe he's had 1 goal in 18 games. And for most players, you see them just completely, just fall apart if that was the way that, their goal scoring like drought was going on like that. But the way that Vardy has really played this season is that he's been able to adapt in more ways. He's been very good, at assisting and, being that one player that takes a bunch of defenders with him, which has left, Nacho open, Madison open, Perez, you name it. And that's one of the awesome things that you've been able to watch. He didn't score today, but without Vardy playing today, this could be a completely different scoreline. Heck, we could be watching penalties.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one thing to mention as well. One thing as well, obviously for the final, we'll probably do a preview coming up to that. We've got a few Chelsea fans that are a fan. Imagine Harvey Barnes being back, and Madison again. This squad is going to be there. Harvey Barnes is going to be a person that's going to come back. His injury should be over by then. Hopefully, he'll build into the squad. But another player, Glenn, to look forward to that time, because this squad is just getting stronger and stronger in terms of depth, in terms of collectivity. And this, after what happened in the week, which I don't want to speak too much on, this only has to unite everybody together. Goes right. We've done it. We're through to the final. Let's go and play our football now.
Yeah, I think the club had already drawn the line under it anyway. We didn't hear about the news until a week after it happened. So they'd already dealt with all of that. So I think that had already been done and dusted, especially now after today as well. Looking at the fact of Barnes coming back, one of the things I was looking at with today's game was whether we had the opportunity to go toe to toe in sort of like a 4-4-2 formation, but I didn't think we really had any, the wide players to be able to do it. And I was even, who would have been there? Maybe Albrighton and Under, but you're never going to see Under come on. I don't think, certainly not as a starter anyway. And so I think it was going to be obvious that they were going to play the three centre backs for this. So then that gives us the other option. Then moving into the Chelsea game as well, and then see how that works out. But I think we've been forced a little bit into how we've had to play recently. So the more options we get. I was surprised to see the Pereira and Castagna switch, and then I was surprised that they didn't, just rather than the substitution, just switch them back over and see how that worked. But again, who cares? We won.
Yeah, and it also, with as you were saying, with the formation that we play, we only have two wing backs, and Marco Pratt has done nothing wrong not to start, so he deserves to have those 30 minutes to play. He didn't do anything in particular that was amazing, but I don't care. As like he was there, he was trying to push, but again, Southampton defended very well, Alex, at times, and really remember the time just before the end of the first half, and they're sticking everybody on the ball to try and stop that ball going in. I mean, they've had players running into each other, diving like in front of each other to try and stop this ball going in. And credit to them, they did have they defensively were pretty strong.
Yeah, and you know what? One of the biggest things that I thought of, at halftime was, Leicester City are not happy where they're at. They had the opportunity; they should have been leading, and I think Rodgers was even probably thinking the same thing. Going into halftime, we should be leading here. Whereas, Southampton's going in at halftime being like, "This is perfect. We have done exactly what we want to do," and you got to give them credit for their defending. And fortunately, Leicester just kept pressing in that second half, and we were able to convert. But yeah, you know what? You got to give it credit to Southampton, especially with the way that they've been playing of late. I think this would even give them this game, even though they lost, I think it's going to give them confidence, in the final push in the Premier League.
Yeah, and that's just sensational as well. And I think you're right, definitely right. We just got to take this forward into the game. However, I don't want to dwell too much on, again, we just need to take that into the Premier League. But I want to get over to you, Glenn. Obviously, you were at that 1982 final, and obviously it's a very different, and it's been that long a time. And I just want to get your thoughts on that. Obviously, there's parts of the game that you've touched on, which I definitely agree with, but it's been that long a time for Leicester City, and this is a point to be celebrated. But just your thoughts, just your memories of that day and how special they are, because I'd love to get to it. If I could, we'll have to see. But what was your experience of that day?
Yeah, I mean, I was only 12, but I mean, I do remember bits of it. And, we had Tommy Williams broke his leg from a tackle. So that wasn't great to start off with. And we held our own, for a lot of the game. But, then you had Ian Wilson, who stuck in the most amazing own goal you'll ever see, which gave Wallington absolutely no chance whatsoever. But I mean, I remember more the actual build up and everything to it, and going down there and it being such a massive event. I still think that all semi-finals should be at a neutral ground, and rather than I don't know Wembley is, but rather than Wembley, and then and of course then being with the final then being at Wembley then just makes it that better occasion, I think. I mean, I'm sure with what Leicester fans can get down there this year, that they're going to make it the occasion that it is. But the build up and that there was the disappointment, even as a kid, being in tears, like I say, for the fact I was still at that age. I knew how big it was. Certainly then. That was going back when I still watched the final, and this was when you'd get up in the morning and it was on right from early doors in the morning on the TV, and with the cameras being on the players' coaches and things like this, and it's an all day affair. And I did when I sat down and watched it all. It was a lot of like, oh my God, what could have been, sort of thing. And that was what I was going through today, was the fact of I didn't want that again. And even though I'm not going to be there, I won't be traveling back to the UK. But it was like I just didn't want that nearly thing again. I know we've been to
Again.
Wembley since. I know we've won at Wembley since with the playoffs and the League Cup and things like that. But that's just that holy grail now that we need. And like for many of us, that it's first time in our lifetime that we'll have been there. For a cup final, was the last one being '69. So yeah, that's that one is just about there in our grasp now. So that one hurdle.
Yes, and even as the achievement as we currently are is still a hell of an achievement. I mean, in recent past, Club well got us there to semi-finals, quarter-finals. Then we had the whole situation a couple of years ago, or 2 years ago now, or 2 seasons ago with Aston Villa and what happened then with them knocking out in the last few minutes and things like that. That we were nearly there and it didn't quite happen. And it's one of the things where again we've done it. Even if we just need to praise them for what they've achieved so far, because it has been sensational. And a lot of people were writing us off. A lot of people were writing us off for this game because of the 2 games we lost. We were coming down the slope. Well, we've won. I mean, we haven't done it in the most best way possible. Can't say it was the most attractive football at times, but we've done it. And that's at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Just want to get to a couple of comments as well. Chrissy goes, everybody in my apartment knew when they'd scored, if they weren't watching it, I was shouting it. It's a great comment. Thank you. Thank you for that. But
Thanks,
yes.
Mom.
Oh, is that Mom? I keep forgetting that's your mom. Oh, fantastic. And the other one is just do it for Vichai. It's coming true. And that nearly got me when Ethan wrote it, Alex, because that again, it's been a few years now, but it's still in the player's mind. It's in the manager's mind. It's still in the club's mind. It's still in the fans' minds that this is one of the reasons. And I've seen it on Twitter as well, actually, today, that people are still thinking about him and what they could do to further his memory, let's say.
Yeah, and I think that's even as I read it, I'm the same as you. Just do it for Vichai, and that's the biggest thing that you can say. With what we've done this season, I think he would be so proud, and I think we all wouldn't even expect this at the start of the season. Who would have thought Leicester would be not only in the top 4 still, but also going to the FA Cup final. When you really put it into perspective, it simply is
I think his internet is going a bit dodgy, so we're going to drop you out. Sorry, Alex. We don't mean to bail on you. It's his internet, and I've been there recording it. It is awful when that happens. However,
I can go on from that as well. I mean, I think even with Vichai as well, but also doing it for Top. I mean, he then obviously took over the reins straight off after such a difficult time for him and his family as well. I mean, the story goes the fact that it was more of his sort of brainstorm for the fact of to take over the club, that he sort of like sold it to his dad. And so yeah, I think doing it for the whole family and that as well, I think is something. I did see that there was a flag there, a Vichai flag there at Wembley today, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, there was all sorts of flags, and they tweeted out the Greek Fox, the Hellenic Foxes had their flag, which I was like, that's so cool.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, they tweeted out from their Facebook page. If you have a look at the Hellenic Foxes Facebook page, the Greek Foxes, they were there. Saw Hong Kong Foxes there, which again, just awesome that you don't get to see these things on a regular basis, and we'd love to have them on the show and stuff like that. But another thing I wanted to touch on before we finish as well, because again, I feel I'm just exhausted, but in such a good way at the same time. Ethan puts a clean sheet. Fantastic, Glenn. We got a clean sheet after out of all that as well, and it's a minor thing in the grand scheme of things, but it's something that the team from the back will take confidence from as well.
Oh, without doubt, they'll concentrate on that and use it as as something to push the team forward over the next few days and the next few weeks. Like I say, the team. Southampton didn't really push us that much, so there wasn't much. I can't remember what the stats were in the first half, but I don't think either team had a shot on goal in the first half. Yeah, I mean, Casper wasn't put under that much pressure on the defence side of things. There was a few things. Soyuncu was a little bit shaky then after his yellow card, but
could have got a red.
Quite easily. Yeah. I think he did with another referee. Had it been yesterday's referee, for argument's sake, who likes handing out the red cards every now and again, then it could have quite easily have been that way. But and that would have made it rather dodgy at the end. But no, with Evans at the back, shoring it up, and commanding that back line. I think we did all right, but yeah, I mean, awesome. That using that clean sheet again to move forward is going to be massive now for, of course, concentrating back on the league now before going back into the for the final in the middle of May.
Exactly, and that's what we want at the end of the day to kind of thing. We've got James Tarkovsky's giving us luck, which is always good. And again, yes, 80 mil for James Tarkovsky. He pops in from time to time. Good to have you. Love to have the interview. All that good Chaz and all that's good fun at the end of the day. Yes, and then David puts as well. Very happy with the way we defended today. It's in the same way. Nothing but Fofana and Evans were immense. I agree with Evans was immense. Fofana was brilliant at times. I think he still showed his naive side, in my opinion. And just going to bring Alex back in. His internet sometimes is there, but yeah,
he's on his phone. I reckon.
We've talked about Evans, but Fofana today made some mistakes, but at the same time, they can be cancelled out. A, because we have a clean sheet. B, because we won, and C, because he's only 19, 20 years old.
Yeah, you know what? You got to give Fofana credit for this, and Evans. But I think Fofana did a great job. He was quite important to this entire, this match. And, like you said, I think earlier, Southampton had a couple run-ins, and he was very lucky when he decided to clip Ings when, in the second half. So,
he hit him with a bat almost.
Oh, I know. No, honestly, when I saw the replay, my first thought was, am I watching hockey? Like, that was a hip check.
Yeah.
So, I was pretty shocked. But no, like going back to Fofana, for a 19-year-old or 20-year-old, is he 20 now?
Mm-hmm.
For a 20-year-old kid, that's my A+ for his effort today. He played fantastic.
Exactly. Jay's put again, surreal running the FA Cup. That's how it feels to us at the moment. And again, that's the problem at the moment where that's the bit I want to concentrate on. I don't want to concentrate too much on the negatives. The positives were there a little bit, but I don't want to concentrate on the negatives. But there wasn't that many positives to talk about. But the positive is the main one is that we're through. And one thing I want to mention, just to come back before we finish up, is Hardy puts, the complacency has gone. We've kicked it out. Brendan Rodgers has stuck to his words. It could have been very easy to go, oh, yeah, well, this, that, and the other. And yes, the people have said, why hasn't there been a public apology? But Brendan Rodgers, again, we've tweeted at halftime, in Brendan we trust. And Glenn, we trust. He delivers. Simple as that.
Every time. Well, pretty much every time anyway. Yeah. It's I agree. I didn't look at that game today and think about any complacency. I think nerves, but and certainly in that first half and we grew into it. But no, there definitely no complacency there. And again, hopefully that's going to be something that we can take forward into the next few games as well. And you're right. And with anything, I mean, there's often we'll tweet about the fact of who's going to be in the next team, what lineups are going to be, what formation, and all this. At the end of the day, most people come back and say the same. Well, whatever Brendan does, we trust that it's going to be right. I mean, I think most people looked today and it was like, hang on a second, what's going on with the wing backs here? How come he switched them over? And I think most people were like, okay, well, let's roll with it. I mean, fair enough. Pereira didn't have a great game. Whether that was because he was just having an off day or whether it was the fact that he was on the other side, we won't really know. But he's tried and tested, or tried now, and Brendan may look at that now and just go, well, I'm not going to do it anymore. And I trust the fact that he's going to deal with that at the next game, and away we go. I can't even remember who we got in the next game. I've been so focused with the FA Cup.
FA Cup, sorry. Yeah, he shows you as well.
Thursday, West Brom.
West Brom,
then Crystal Palace, I think, are the next two games.
Right.
So this is the next three games where the run of form is quite good. West Ham have just lost their last game as well against Newcastle, who we do play in the 3 games time. So again, it is in our hands to go and achieve, and we're still in the pole position, in my opinion, to get top four. Alex, just quickly to finish on, obviously, in Brendan we trust, and JT, again, shout out to JT as well, the American Fox, on Twitter as well. So make sure you go check him out. Say what about Paris and Marathon. It was great to see them, and the team switched on. They moved and handled their business, and that's it. We trust in the team. We trust in the process. Everything worked. We were in the final. What can we do?
you know what? Like you've said, like Glenn said, you know, in Brendan we trust, and you know he's got us this far, and you know that's just something to be, you know, absolutely buzzing about, you know. And I think time and time again, you know, the amount of people, you know, including myself, that have, you know, we always, you know, stack up our own starting lineups, and you know, sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. But at the end of the day, you know, Rogers knows what he's done, what he's doing, and he's been able to do it the entire season. You know, and that's one of the biggest things. He has led us to the finals. He has kept us in the top four. You know, and I think, you know, I said this earlier this week. I thought, I believed, and I still believe that this match was the defining match of the entire season. I think that with this win, I think this will just give us motivation and determination for the rest of the season. And I think that's going to be huge for us moving forward.
Yes, and definitely, I totally agree there. So I'd like to thank everybody for getting their comments, and you've been super brilliant. And yeah, I can't thank you enough. If you could like this video, subscribe, all that usual YouTube crap that we have to promote, because I'm no good at it, but I'm still trying it at the moment. We really appreciate you. Again, Alex has had some internet problems, but he's tried his best. Glenn's jumped in last minute. We're all over the place, but we really appreciate you. Make sure you check out, because Leicester City women, if you didn't realize, have also won 1-0 against Liverpool and have progressed to the next round as well. So Hannah and James will have their show. So make sure you turn the notification on for that one, because you'll want to make sure. And for our we go live after every single game, myself, Alex, and other guests like Glenn as well. And you make sure you turn on your notifications for that, because you're going to want to make sure that you're one of these people, because we try and read out as many comments as possible. But yeah, on to the final. Absolutely brilliant. We've done it, and hopefully we can go through and win it for Vichai and the whole city and whatever's we've been through so far. So all the best, guys. From me, Glenn, Alex, thank you so much. We'll see everybody in the next video. Come on, Leicester. We'll see you in a bit. Bye.
Come on.